Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about the differences between the CCA, or the Certified Coding Associate, and the CPC-A, the Certified Professional Coder Apprentice. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Okay, guys, so I got this comment, and this comment inspired today's episode, so here we go. All right, so the viewer says, "Hi, I'm looking for help with this. I'm 21 and have been taking on and off classes with AHIMA and a combination with self-study using YouTube and all kinds of sites and books. I was told I should aim for the CCS, which is the gold standard of medical coding credentials. That is the Certified Coding Specialist, or a CPC, but I thought a CCA was equivalent to the CPC. AHIMA is discouraging to me as it has super high prices and trouble with their logins kind of frequently, etc., etc. Kind of turns me off to them. I'd like to turn to AAPC, but I'm afraid that it won't get me a job / make the jump," with a frown. And then they said, "I see that the CPC has an A attached to it for apprentice. So now I know why some people said it was equivalent to the CCA." And I said, whoever said that clearly does not know what they're talking about, because they are not the same. And it is true, they are not the same in the fact that they are two medical coding certifications. That is where they are similar, but they say different things. So the CCA is a Certified Coding Associate. AHIMA does not have anything to do with apprentice status or none of that. Apprentice status is an AAPC thing. And that is what they attached to a CPC to say that you do not have experience. That is how they distinguish the two. However, because AAPC is a for-profit organization, they do have a way to remove the apprentice status much faster than the 2-year time commitment to have that on there. If you go through one of their approved programs, and if you complete Practicode, you can be apprentice-free a lot quicker. So that's the thing, guys. We need to kind of look at what is it saying, because listening to other people who clearly don't know can really lead you down a wrong path. So allow me to explain what the difference is between these two. So the CCA is a Certified Coding Associate, and this says that you are competent, that you have no experience in medical coding so far, right? Or even if you do have experience and you're just now newly certified, that you are competent in outpatient coding and inpatient coding. This means that you can code from the ICD-10-CM, which is your diagnosis coding, ICD-10-PCS, which is the inpatient procedure coding, and with CPT, okay? Current procedural terminology. That's all the outpatient procedures. That is evaluation and management. There's a lot of things that happen in CPT, but that you know these three, okay? And that you're competent in these three. The CCA also has the most domains of all medical coding certifications that are unique, okay? Because I know AAPC breaks theirs down, but when we talk about unique domains, the CCA has the most. Now, a lot of people will trash talk the CCA because they say, "Oh, it's an apprentice." It is not an apprentice. It is an entry-level certification that says that you are competent in ICD-10-CM, ICD-10-PCS, and CPT, that you can apply anywhere. Inpatient coding or for outpatient coding, you can apply anywhere, because this says that you are competent. It is a 2-hour exam, and it is one of the most toughest exams next to the CCS, which is a lot longer, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I do want to say this about the CCA. There's a lot of people that don't understand what it is. So let me explain this also. The CCA can do everything that a CPC can do, and then some. And the then some part is the fact that they know inpatient coding, that they understand DRGs, that they understand all of those things, present on admission. They understand all of those things, which is a lot more than what the CPC says. But the CPC saying that, okay, this is a CPC-A, the Certified Professional Coder Apprentice. This says that you are competent in outpatient coding, that you understand how to use the ICD-10-CM, which is the diagnosis, the CPT, the current procedural terminology, and HCPCS level 2. Those are the durable medical equipment and other procedure codes that are insurance specific. So there's a lot of things that are covered in the HCPCS book, but those are the 3 books that it's saying that you are knowledgeable about when you have the CPC. Now, just the apprentice status to it means that you are brand new, that you have less than 2 years of experience. So in order to get the apprentice status removed, you have to either work for 2 years as a medical coder, right? Get that experience in, or you can go through one of their approved programs, and you can take Practicode along with it. And then that is how you accelerate the removal of the apprentice status. Now, that is just what these 2 credentials say. I will also say this. There is not one credential that is better than the other. I'm going to keep saying it because I don't seem to be heard on this part. It is the coder that makes the credential, not the other way around. I know plenty of people who get jobs with the CCA. I know plenty of people who get jobs with the CPC-A. How do I know this? Because I'm a resume writer. I write resumes, and these people come to me with the CCA or the CPC-A, and they're able to get jobs. Now, it's not a guarantee, but I'm just saying that when I write their resumes, this is what they're competent to know and understand. And when they're going out in the world, then the employers are like, okay, good. This is somebody that understands that we have to understand what you know. And so when you have a good quality resume, that's when you start seeing results. But people who have either one of these get jobs all the time. It is people who are listening to others that really don't know, and they're sort of getting into the industry and expecting an extremely high salary as soon as they get out there. And they're just thinking that, oh, well, I can't get it because I have a CPC-A, or I can't get it because I have a CCA, when it is not true. If you look at the Department of Labor or the Bureau of Statistics, and I'm not going to leave the link, guys, because you all can do your research. This is part of being a medical coder, is that you have to do research. So please go to the Department of Labor or the Bureau of Statistics, and you will be able to find in your local area what a medical coder starts out at, like salary-wise, so that way you can get a good idea of what medical coders are making. Now, what you start at salary-wise, and we never talk money and specifics on my channel, never ever, but I will say this. If what you're starting at is kind of low compared to where you were, think about this. What you made before is because you had experience, right? And you had to build up to that salary. You did not start at that salary, right? You had to work up to it. So because of that, it took time. It is the same thing when you're coming into medical coding, that you will build up in time. And however fast you build up is entirely up to you. And it rests on your shoulders, because what is in your control as a brand new medical coder is your ability to study, to do your research, and to ask questions when it is appropriate, when you have done all of your research. Not because you want to sit there and ask questions because you think it's too hard, when there is a whole world out there of Google that can help you, or there are books that I have recommended time and time again, and the books are in the description box, or you can look through my videos. I have over 1,100 videos, guys. There is something for everyone. And the books that I recommend, you can get the latest year if you want to. The title is there, so you know which book to look for, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be a book that I recommended, a 2019 version. It can be a 2023 version, or whatever version you want, all right? But what I'm trying to reiterate here is the fact that people need to stop saying that, oh, well, I'm worried because one is better than the other, or I'm not going to get hired because I have this, or I'm not going to get hired because I have that. You will get hired. And as I've said many, many times on my channel, it is how you are presenting yourself. If you have completed your program, and let's just say you're just throwing out a blanket resume to everybody. I've heard that before too. I applied over 250 places and no one wanted me. And then when you get to looking at their resume, then you can see why. because it's 3 or 4 or 5 pages and it doesn't have anything about what they learned in school, and they have ICD-10 as their skill. If I see ICD-10 as your skill, I will immediately reject you if I am a hiring manager. Now, a lot of people don't hear me when I say that if part. I am not a hiring manager, but I have been in the industry for 15 years. So I know what these employers are looking for. What I'm saying when I say, if I see ICD-10, I'm going to immediately reject you. What does that mean? That shows me that you are not detail oriented, because there's 2 ICD-10s. There's ICD-10-CM, which is your diagnosis coding, and there's ICD-10-PCS, which is your inpatient procedure coding. And they do not go on the same line. It does not go ICD-10-CM/PCS, because to me, that shows laziness. And again, that's another rejection. And you may be thinking, gosh, Blue, that's kind of harsh. That's immediate. I'm telling you what these employers are looking at when they're seeing your resume. I'm giving you the inside scoop. There's no gatekeeping here. There's a lot of people that talk about gatekeeping, and that doesn't happen on my channel. I'm telling you all up front, this is what those employers are looking for. And a lot of you still won't apply that advice. You're still sitting there wandering around questioning and like, what do we do? What do we do? That's exactly what I said. Make sure that when you are sending out your resume, that it is 1 page, max 2 pages. It does not go past 10 years on your work history. And the only reason that I say that is because the most that they'll run you back on a background check is 10 to 15 years. Some employers will go further back than that, but they will let you know, okay? But your resume is not meant to show your entire work history. It is meant to give them a snapshot of who you are, so that way they know, okay, this person is competent to do what we do here. It's the difference between the person who has the CCA and the person who has the CPC-A. Now, you can have a CPC-A and fully know how to code for ICD-10 PCS. You can, if you are competent in that, you can totally put that on your skills list, because you know it, you understand it, but you just didn't happen to sit for the CCA. You just happen to sit for the CPC. So that is okay. But see, it's applying that common sense to what you're putting out there, guys. If you don't have ICD-10 PCS skill, that is okay. A lot of people entering the industry don't have that skill, because outpatient coding is a little bit easier to train on. Now, hold your fire, because I know some of you are, no, I understand inpatient coding much easier. Okay, there's those folks. But there's a lot of people that it's much easier to learn CPT, and it's much easier to figure out codes that are already assembled versus the codes that you have to put together, which is what happens when you're coding in ICD-10 PCS, okay, those inpatient procedures. So if you're trying to decide which way to go, well, Blue, I don't know which way to go. I hear this, I hear that. Stop listening to people, period. Stop listening to ignorant people who do not know, because there's a lot of people that say, oh, CCAs can't get a job. Really? Really? Again, I write resumes for CCAs all the time and CPCAs. They get jobs. So let's not go there, please. Okay? If you don't know what you're talking about, then you just don't know, right? But here's the thing. If you want to go with AHIMA, and I disagree with what the person said, that AHIMA is very expensive. Honey, they're both expensive. Let's not even go there on that either, because we'll talk about the differences between the two. So with AHIMA, when you get a medical coding certification, the CCA, the CCS, or the CCSP, any one of these, the continuing education units for one is 20. Okay. Now, when you add on a little bit more, then of course it starts to go up. But just for one credential, one certification, it is 20. Okay. If the CCA, CCS, or the CCSP, and these are all credentials with AHIMA. Okay. So that's 20 for one. Now with AAPC, 36 for one. For one certification, it is 36 continuing education units. And yes, you have to have those continuing education units. You have 2 years to come up with 36. You have 2 years to come up with 20 if you're with AHIMA. Now, if you come up with those 36, okay, great, fantastic. You have your 36 to complete your, to maintain your certification. Also, with AAPC, you have to pay $205 every single year that you hold your certification, because they require all of their credential holders to maintain their membership with the association. The American Health Information Management Association, AHIMA, does not require this, okay? It is your choice if you want to be a member of AHIMA. However, if you choose not to be a member of AHIMA, they will charge you separately an administrative fee, right, basically, to report your CEUs. And that's just normal cost of doing business, y'all. That is just normal cost of business. But that fee that they charge you to report your CEUs, it is not the same as the $410 plus the $36 that you got to pay with AAPC. And not only that, as you start to gain more credentials, which AAPC likes to say, oh, well, hey, why don't you get the CRC, the CPP, the CPMA, and all these other ones, right? They like to have those out there so that the people can continue to rack up all these credentials on their name. And the thing that I tell you guys too is this: if you are a brand new medical coder, you should only have one credential for the first 2 years. Now, the reason that I say this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, so people are probably going to get upset at me. I don't care, guys. I'm trying to stop a lot of you from making an unnecessary mistake. So I have had the experience of people writing to me and saying, Blue, I got my CPC-A, and then my instructor told me, or my friends told me, or this Facebook group told me I needed to get the CPP, the CRC, the CPMA, and so I got all these credentials and I still don't have a job. And I have to report all these continuing education units. And guess what? With that CPMA, right? A lot of people don't, I asked them specifically, what are you going to do with it? They can't even tell me. It's an auditor certification. If you've never been audited, why are you getting an auditor certification? I'm asking. What are you going to do with it? If you don't really know all the rules and understand what you're doing yet, how can you effectively audit anything? Whether the audit means that you're looking at what's missing, or do you even know what is missing? So with the CPMA, you have to have specific CEUs from specific vendors. And guess what? They can charge you whatever they want to for those continuing education units if you get that CPMA. And having a bunch of credentials after your name, guys, and you don't have experience to back it up, it says nothing. All it says is that you're spending an awful lot of money than the person who has the one certification that's learning in their first 2 years. If you want to, after the first 2 years, if you say, okay, Blue, I have my CPC, full-fledged CPC now, and I think I would like to pursue the CIC because I want to stay with AAPC. Hey, that is totally fine. You know why? Because that CIC is completely different from the CPC. Why? The CIC is a certified inpatient coder, and this says that you understand how to use ICD-10 PCS, right? And of course ICD-10 CM, right? But it says that you understand and you're competent in ICD-10 PCS. So that makes sense, right? Because you have two credentials that say different things. Whereas if you have the CCA, you have it in one, and that's just as good, guys. Trust me, that is just as good, because now you don't have to sit here and get even more continuing education units, because your one credential says that you're already competent to do so. Okay, that you're competent in both fields. So that's the thing, guys. That's what you have to understand. There's going to be a lot of people out there that think that they know and they don't know, especially those that have not been in the industry. And then there are some people who say things because they are loyal to the associations, and I get it. However, I'm not. I tell you guys that yes, I am with AHIMA. I am with AHIMA all the way. I will always be with AHIMA. I may also be with Actis further on down the road, but that's on down the road. I'm talking about right now. But when it comes to AAPC, I will never be associated with them as far as with their credentials go, because I already have all of that with AHIMA. So that's why I've already made my choice in that. And if you choose to go with AAPC, that is fine, guys. Because you know why? I believe in looking at the coder themselves and not the credential or the association that they belong to. And not everybody's like that. There's some people that they're like, they are loyal to AHIMA and they will not speak about AAPC. There's people that are loyal to AAPC and they will not speak about AHIMA. However, as I have always said on my channel, I like to bring you guys the options that you all have, because at the end of the day, this is not about East Coast, West Coast. This is not about AAPC and versus AHIMA. It is not about that. It is about your knowledge as a coder and you building on that knowledge, and then you understanding what you're getting into. And then before you end up adding on all of these other things, you're going to understand what it is that you're doing. And you're going to understand that, okay, I don't want to sit here and double up on these credentials. So I'm going to do it this way, this way, this way, because this is somebody, I'm listening to somebody, me, hello. I'm listening to somebody who is not trying to sell me a product. Now, when I say this, of course, somebody says, oh no, Blue, you have your services that you recommended and you do all that and it's all, so you are selling things. I am not selling anybody credentials. I'm not. The only reason that I offer tutoring, professional coaching, and resume rewrites is because you all, the audience, has asked me to do that. That is the only reason why I started doing it. It is the only reason why I continue to do it. Because this is what you all are asking of me. So this is what I do. Do I charge for it? Of course. I have to, guys. It's my time. But at the same time, too, guys, you have to understand that other people that are telling you certain things, oh, only stick with this association. Oh, only do this certification or add these other credentials. They're trying to sell you something. I'm not. I'm just saying. So, with that said, I want you guys to know that whichever way you choose to go, whether you go with AHIMA or whether you go with AAPC, they are both organizations that are going to charge, right? But just know that AHIMA is a non-profit organization. AAPC is a for-profit organization. And I know that upsets a lot of people. I don't know why. It's business, guys. It's business. AHIMA was the only one there for a long time. And then AAPC, they formed this organization, they saw an opportunity, and then there they are. And then now there's a lot of people that are involved with AAPC. And again, that's okay. It is okay. But I want you all to be mindful when you're adding on credentials, and I want you all to know that there is not one certification that is better than the other. Just because you have a CPC-A, it does not make you less worthy than a person who has a CCA. If you have a CCA, it does not make you less worthy than a person who has a CPC or a CPC-A. Okay? Everyone is worthy, but you have to build on your knowledge and you got to build on those skills. That's where it's all at. It's not on, oh, I want to get this one, that one. They say different things. Again, I'm going to reiterate this before I close. The CCA says that you are competent to code inpatient or outpatient. You can use ICD-10-CM, ICD-10-PCS, and CPT. If you have a CPC or the CPC-A, that says that you know ICD-10-CM, CPT, and HCPCS. Okay? So those are the differences between the two. Whichever one you decide to go to, one is going to charge you a membership fee every single year, and that's AAPC. The other one is not. AHIMA does not charge you a fee every single year to be a member. You have a choice to be a member or to not be a member. It is up to you, okay? So that's the thing. You all have choices, but it's about which way you want to go. If you don't want to mess around with a membership fee every single year, then don't go with AAPC. Go with AHIMA. You know, if you don't want to go with AHIMA because people around you are saying, oh no, I go AAPC, then go with AAPC. Whichever way you want to go. But at the end of the day, keep this in mind, that if you always follow what people like what the group says and the popular opinion, you're always going to be at their mercy. You're going to be at the mercy of whatever they say, and that may end up costing you money. Okay, guys, do your research. Make sure you know, make sure you understand. And when you're asking questions like this, don't make assumptions about one or the other. It's not the credential that makes the coder. It is the coder that makes the credential. Okay, I'm just saying. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this one up. Tomorrow night on Halloween, I will be live at 7:30 doing my live recap of the ICD-10-CM and ICD-10-CM Medical Coding Guidelines Challenge we were supposed to do this month. So, come on, let me know how many you did, how many times you read it. I will be posting the polls here in a bit that will run today, Sunday, and Monday, and then we will see what the results are to see how many times people read the coding guidelines, which I hope that you did, because it's only beneficial to you. Again, it is the coder that makes the credential, not the other way around. So with that said, I'm wrapping this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.